Good afternoon, everybody, and we're live on the air right now. And now we will do the National League side of the playoffs. So we have two Game 5s right now. We have Cardinals versus Braves, and then the Nationals versus Dodgers. So Cardinals Braves, the storyline of that series, it seems like nobody can take control of the series. And what I mean is Game 1, Braves had a 3-1 to nothing lead in the 7th inning. It was 3-1 in the 8th. Cardinals came back and they won the first game as the Braves ultimately ended up blowing a save and losing in 9 innings. In Game 2, you think, okay, you have Jack Flaherty on the mound, and the way he pitched in the second half, you're thinking, okay, the Cardinals are going to take a 2-0 lead. And then Game 3, top of the 9th, Cardinals have a 1-0 lead, and then Dansby Swanson ties it, and Adam Duvall hits the go-ahead 2-run single, and just like that, into the Cardinals leading 2-1 against the Braves. And now we'll talk about Game 4 as we we'll preview Game 5, which is coming up this afternoon and about an hour away. So it looks like the Braves have early momentum. Acuna leads the game off of a single, and then ends up being a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. For the Cardinals, right away in the bottom of the first, Goldschmidt and Ozuna hit back-to-back home runs. They give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead, so the Cardinals clearly have early momentum. They are in control of the game thus far. And Ozuna ended up hitting 2 home runs in Game 4. And if they had a most valuable player for the series, it'd either be Ozuna or Goldschmidt. And really not much happens. It's kind of the same until that, and then really for both teams, here's the interesting thing. So Dallas Keuchel starts on short rest since he started Game 1, and it was now Game 4, and ends up allowing back-to-back home runs. And this playoff so far, again, as I talked about in the last episode, which is out on YouTube right now, just got published within the last 15-20 minutes, short rest isn't really working right now. Yes, it's a divisional series, but Keuchel just didn't have it, giving up those back-to-back home runs, and had to come out. Luke Jackson came in and pitched in the 4th. And right as it looks like the Cardinals are in control, it looks like, okay, we're likely to have a Game 5. I think it was 2-0 and 3-1. Ozzie Albies has a go-ahead home run in the 5th inning. It's 4-3 Braves. And we just talked about throughout the series how teams struggle control. Cardinals had opportunity to have a 2-0 lead. That's what many people thought what might happen. Certainly a 2-1 lead. Braves have a 4-3 lead. They are in control of the game now, and they have opportunity to take over. And really, these are a lot of relievers. Good job by Luke Jackson by getting 3 strikeouts in the outing. And here's the point where the Braves really have an opportunity to put not only the game, but also the series away. Where they load the bases in the 6th inning. I think it's Duvall that strikes out the bases loaded. So then and knowing Duvall, who hit the pinch hit home run in Game 1, or Game 2, pardon me, and then the go-ahead hit in Game 3 to give the Braves a 3-1 win in Game 3, can't come through. And then the 7th inning, Acuna leads off of a triple. And from my memory, I think all these pops up. Freeman struck out, and the point was they could not capitalize. In baseball, when you hit a triple and you have nobody out, you have to score runs in that situation. You have to be able to score runs. Since if you don't, that gave the Cardinals life, and they ended up loading the bases, and Hechavarria had a deep fly out. So the point was the Braves had the bases loaded not once, but back-to-back innings in a row, and they did not get a single run out of it. That was an opportunity to ultimately put the series away for good. And they did not capitalize. Well, Goldschmidt, who had been so good for them, it seemed like it's a double pretty much every at bat, or it's a home run. He had a double to lead off the eighth, and then eventually, Yadier Molina, so the Braves are 4 outs away from going to the NLCS, so they can just find a way to get out of the inning. They will be on their way to the NLCS. Well, Molina hits a single, ties the game. And then more missed opportunities. Acuna leads off the ninth with a double, which gives the Braves an opportunity. Which again, so they have a runner at second now. And now now you have an opportunity to win the game. And we have a runner at second, so you just have to move over. Well, here's what Albies failed to do. Normally in that situation, Albies being, I think he was facing Carlos Martinez at the time, so lefty. All you have to do is just hit a ground ball to second, and Acuna's at third and 1 out. And you're in great position to win the series. They fail to do it, they pop up to short, and it was just too late. They failed to score again. And the point of the game is the Braves were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 9. If they would have gotten just one hit, they would have won the game. Whether that's Duvall, as they talked about earlier in the 6th inning. Instead, it's probably 6-3. Or Hechavarria, again, 6-3. Or just moving the runner over. So Acuna multiple times by hitting a triple and a double, you're getting. You start off inning second with no outs, and then third no outs, and then second with no outs, plus the 2 times leaving the bases loaded. Those are a lot of wasted opportunities. So here we are in the 10th inning. Colton Wong starts it off with a double in the 10th inning, and you eventually have runners at first and second. Yadier Molina, sac fly, series tied at 2. And we'll have a game 5 later today. So ultimately game 4, what I observed between the starting pitching, since I thought most of the series, especially games 2 and 3, were about starting pitching. We saw the duel between Flaherty and Foltynewicz, which could be very similar today. We don't know yet. And also Wainwright trying to go for 8 innings. In fact, Wainwright might have been thinking about finishing, believe it or not. And then Soroka going 7 innings. So those were pitchers' duels. In this game, we really didn't have that. In the 5th inning, Hudson came out, and watching the game, there were so many pitching changes that happened. It's unbelievable. I mean, the Cardinals, I think they used a bunch of righties. I think they eventually used Andrew Miller. I think they used pretty much everybody, Martinez included. And Miles Michaelis, the game 1 starter, came in. And I think what they were going to do is, I think if it would have gone deep into extra innings, the Braves did the same thing with Julio Teheran, who got the loss. So if you saw the win total, Michaelis, loser, Teheran, of course it went 10 innings. But you could have thought that those are the 2 starting pitchers of the game, since they are primarily starting pitchers. But the point is, that's what would have happened. They would have probably pitched most of extra innings for as long as it might have taken. But the point is, it was a lot of mixing and matching. The Cardinals made so many pitching changes throughout the game. So did the Braves. Really, it was really a bullpen battle throughout the game. And so today's starters are Mike Foltynewicz, as I just said, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts in game 1, just 3 hits allowed. Jack Flaherty, 7 innings, kind of old school, 8 Ks in game 2. And this is something that I observed throughout the playoffs. Schilt let him go, 110, 115, 120 range. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened again today. And knowing the Cardinals bullpen, is there anyone you can really trust in the Cardinals bullpen? And is this a game that, if it's not particularly close, I think this is the type of game where you let Flaherty go as long as possible. 7, 8. It doesn't happen much. Maybe 9 innings. Foltynewicz, I don't know. It depends on what the score is, but could be the same thing. So we don't know there. So the notable hitters of the series, Freddie Freeman was 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. You know, and this has been a thing for him for um, a long time. Is he has been hurt for the elbow injury battling for the last 6 weeks or so. He's been ineffective. Josh Donaldson, who seemed to get small, those maybe his only 2 hits of the series, seemed to get a big hit and never really stepped up in game 1 and game 2, I guess. And then Dansby, Swanson, those are, so Acuna and Swanson, I say, are who perform the best, and Acuna had 4 hits, so again, you talk about game 1, Acuna not hustling, thinking, oh, that might have hurt them. Sure, it did. But Acuna in game 4, every reason why they should have won. And it wasn't his fault that Ozzie Albies failed to drive him in, or that Freddie Freeman could not drive him in or move him over. Just Acuna basically carried them in game 4. And Paul Goldschmidt and Ozuna, who have each hit multiple home runs in the series, each have been easily the 2 best Cardinals hitters this series. They have performed. Those are. If you want to say Acuna, Ozuna, similar sounding names, and then Goldschmidt. Those have been the 3 best hitters of the series. And game 4 represented exactly what the entire series represented: failing to take control. Like I said, the Braves had an opportunity to have early control of the series. The Cardinals really had an opportunity to take even more control of a 2-0 lead going back to St. Louis. And the Braves, or the Cardinals, failing to win game 3. Control. And then game 4, Braves failing to finish. Now all of a sudden, it's even. Whoever wins this series will be in complete control of the series, since it will be over, and it will be the National League Championship Series. So, either way, whoever loses the series, you can look back, Carlos Martinez will be behind, if only I converted that save in game 3, if only I could have driven him. There'll be all those moments where the Braves think they should have won this series, the Cardinals think they should have won the series. And that's what this game 5 is for, to decide really who takes control. And there are no other games. So is this game like game 4, where it goes back and forth and no one really gets into where it just goes back and forth, where it seems like, whoever scores first in this game, like, okay, the Cardinals score first, like, let's say, I don't know, Dexter Fowler to lead off home run. They're in control. What if the Braves strike back? We just don't know. It's a game 5. I think it's a coin flip, 50-50. Flaherty versus Fulte. I think this will be much more of a pitcher's duel. I think it will be similar to what game 2 was. The question is, who scores first? I'd say whoever scores first wins the game. And to be honest, I have no idea who's going to win this game. Just looking back to this series, it seems like you have no idea what's going to happen. So now we'll move over to Nationals versus Dodgers. So in that series, basically the storyline is we'll talk about Game 4 and what to expect in Game 5. Really, in that series, Game 1, the Dodgers look like they're the better team for sure. They made Corbin really work in the first inning, and that's really what put the Nationals, gave them a disadvantage pretty much right away. And they ended up winning 6-0 when Corbin came out. It was really time for it was time to put in the bullpen, and they're what the Nationals bullpen usually is. Game 2 was all about Strasburg and the Nationals getting timely hits. They able to win 4-2 and getting out of the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. Jam, bases loaded, 2 outs, they got out. So they survived Game 2. Game 3, if you thought the Nationals had a chance to really take over the series, in the 6th inning, in comes Corbin. I talked at length about this on Monday. Dodgers just took over. They took over, really. Their lineup, they just ambushed the Nationals, whether it was I think it was a 2-run double, 3-run home run. And then Game 4, let's talk Game 4. So, Max Scherzer's on the mound, and this is a critical Game 4. and Justin Turner hits a home run in the first, gives the Dodgers the lead. So they have the momentum at the moment. And later on, Seager leads off the second with a double. So all of a sudden, the Dodgers, sure, they're only up 1-0, but they potentially get a few runs to Scherzer, somehow limit the Nationals' offense. They can win the series right there. They can win the series 3-1 right there. And then, sorry about that. So then, Rendon ties the game with a sac fly, 1-1 in the third. And really, for the Dodgers, they started Rich Hill, and I knew all along. I mean, about last Thursday, I remember I previewed the series and I talked about what might happen. And I knew all along that Game 4 would A, very likely be Rich Hill, and B, he wouldn't go very far. It would be a game of bullpenning. And the Nationals made him work at times, they load the bases, and ultimately when Rendon tied the game, Hill ends up pitching, just doesn't even make it out of the third. His pitch count, I heard, would be right around 60. And then Bellinger in the fourth, I think leads off a single, he steals. And then Scherzer strikes out 2 in the inning. So now all of a sudden, so again, you still have a runner in scoring position. Again, they have a chance to capitalize, take over. Scherzer strikes out the 2. And there was a thought of it, I saw it multiple times. Kershaw might have gotten up, taken off his jacket, might have stretched a little bit, thought, oh, might be getting loose. Is Kershaw coming in? Since at the time, he was on 2 days rest, and you knew he had Buehler back in Game 5 in Los Angeles, so this was so you knew you were in control, really, of the series. So you decide to, and he warms up, and I think, is he coming in? Is he going to come in? He might come in. Since at that point, the Dodgers, I think they decided to use Julio Urias, who I think finished the third, and then I think it was the fourth, and then Scherzer strikes out the side in the fifth, so all of a sudden he's in control now. It looks like Scherzer's in control. It's 1-1. So if the Dodgers, for any point in time in the early innings, they might have had a chance to get to Scherzer, kind of similar to what the Brewers did in the wild card game, where they think, okay, this can be our game to win. They didn't do that. And I'm sorry, I've just been yawning a lot recently. I apologize. It's all the baseball that's making me tired. I don't know. But so then the Dodgers use Urias in game. So then the Dodgers. I'm sorry, I was having technical difficulties. So where was I? Oh yeah. So we were talking about. So then we were talking about in the fifth inning. So Urias comes in, and then it's 2-1. And then Rendon drives in Turner from second. And then the big blow of the game, the Ryan Zimmerman home run. That was off Baez. So you take Urias out, in comes Baez. I think it was supposed to be righty on righty. And it gives the Nationals a 5-1 lead. And then Scherzer got through the sixth and the seventh. That was the opportunity for the Dodgers to get back in the game. Really labored in the seventh. And then Jock Peterson grounded out with the bases loaded. And then it was Hudson Doolittle 8th and the 9th. And then so the Nats ended up winning 6-1. So it was a game that the Dodgers were in it for the middle innings. And did they make the call not to use Kershaw? I don't know. I think it would have been probably about equivalent to what the Nationals did with Scherzer, or what they had at least attempted to do with Corbin, where they might have asked him to go maybe 1 or 2 innings. Since again, you have Buehler in Game 5, so Kershaw was not used at all. And the Nationals win. So now the question is, will Kershaw come in and pitch in Game 5? I would say no. Or I'll take that back. I would say yes. I think he will appear at least some in Game 5. Whether that's an inning or 2, who knows. Could go ahead and start. I mean, I really don't know. Then they can't worry about the LCS right now. You know, they have to play for. They have to worry about. Really, they have to worry about trying to win Game 5 tonight. And you have Bueller, and the Nationals have Strasburg. So who's available, who's not? Will Corbin be available? Maybe. I don't know, but it might be hard to trust him for one inning. I don't know if you go to him. So I think for Strasburg, again, I think it has to be. Same thing with Scherzer. 7, at least 7, maybe even 8 or 9, depending on the circumstances. And then you use Doolittle and Hudson. Those are the Nationals' really only trusted relievers. Since we saw what happened in the series, right? I mean, when they're in position to win, right? In the wild card game, it was all Scherzer. Scherzer didn't quite have it. You go to Strasburg. Then in Game 2, since they used the bullpen in Game 1, it was a disaster for them. Strasburg went 6. You used Doolittle. You decided to go with Scherzer to be the setup man for an inning. And then Hudson, right? Game 3, you went straight from Sanchez to Corbin. Now that didn't work out, and they had to use the bullpen, and it was a disaster, obviously. They gave up 5 of the runs after Corbin even left the game, and they basically gave up 9 runs that game. Yes, Corbin counts. And then last night, Scherzer, Doolittle, Hudson. So tonight, and Doolittle and Hudson each have a day of rest. It will be Strasburg, Doolittle, and Hudson. That is the plan, and as long as they're in the game, I think they will stick to that plan. Now, will Scherzer come in? No. Could Sanchez come in? He's on 2 days rest. I doubt it. Maybe he can go an inning. So we don't know, but for the most part, David Martinez has very little trust in his bullpen. And watch for... So again, now on the Dodgers side of things, it will be Bueller. Again, I think they'll expect a full start out of him. You know you have a bullpen, reliable bullpen, and you have Kershaw. So they won't put too much pressure on him. I think he'll pitch as long as he's feeling good, as long as he looks like he's in control of the game. I think he'll pitch. Now, could that mean he could last 6 or 7 or 8 innings? Yes, I think that could be the case. So this is his game to start. He started Game 7 last year against the Brewers, and Strasburg's one of the great postseason pitchers really of all time. And you look at his last 3 outings, his Game 2 start, dominant. What he did in relief against Milwaukee that really saved their season when the Brewers could have gotten in control and ended it right there. And then against the Cubs 2 years ago, yes, that was a Game 4, not a Game 5, but so Strasburg was in control there. So now all of a sudden, this is Strasburg against Bueller, but you know what? The Nationals, they took it to Game 5. I'm going to call an upset pick since it's Strasburg on the mound. I'm going to say the Nationals are going to win. And am I being biased? I've been wearing this Nationals hat all playoffs as long as they've been alive, or as long as they've been in the playoffs. No, I'm trying to be honest. I'm not trying to be biased right now. You know, if you were asked, okay, take off your Nationals cap, I want you to talk from a national perspective. Do the Nationals win? Yes. Yes, they're going to win. That's what I would say. I'd say the same thing. They're going to win tonight, since it's Strasburg, and Bueller's going to pitch well. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it'll be similar to what Game 2 was. And the Nationals win, and they advance to the NLCS. So thank you for listening. The games will be starting shortly, and I will see everybody next time.